Welcome to Eddify, your #1 SAT online platform. Through this platform, you will be prepared to take the exam, and we are going to build your confidence through practice. So this is just a quick walkthrough of what Eddify looks like. So of course you would be logged in with your account, username and password, and you would have access to these courses. As you know, we've broken down Eddify into 4 sections. There's the SAT Math Prerequisites, SAT Grammar Prerequisites, SAT Reading Prerequisites, and SAT Question Bank. Let's delve into the SAT Math Prerequisites and see what that looks like. When you get into the SAT section, you will always have a progress tracker right here telling you how far you've gone. Currently there are 56 items, but this could change. We add and swap out videos as we find necessary for you to best learn. And right over here, there's an overview of this course, just a brief description. Here you see the curriculum of all the lessons that are in this Math Prerequisites module. Here you find any announcements that there might be. The instructor might have an announcement to make. If you're part of the course, then you would find the announcement here. And here you get introduced to your instructor, yours truly, Eddie. But of course you have met Margaret Ann. If you haven't met Margaret Ann yet, she is an awesome instructor who I once tutored as one of my students, and she came on to work for Eddify as an instructor for the SAT. So she actually handles the writing language, as you will soon see. And here is where you see the reviews for this course. Right now we don't have any, but if you do have a review, and we recommend that you do, you can come in here and write a review. So to begin the courses, let's go to curriculum. So we have a list of all the lessons in here. This is the introduction part, which you've probably more than likely already seen. Here we have the requirements and resources that you're going to need for this course. In here you will find all the tests that the College Board has ever put out, and they are there for you to help you quickly figure out which test you need. So just clicking through, here are all the official SAT exams, some ACT down here for those who may be interested. And as you can see, when you open this, you have your menu off to the side where you can go to each lesson. You know, there are several chapters, so we can just condense these and expand them as needed. So we've broken down all the math topics into mini lessons. The reason is we found that the SAT is very repetitive in how they ask their questions. There's always a concept behind every problem. And so we've gone through all the exams that exist, all these 10 and some, and we've converted all the concepts that they teach about into lessons that you're going to need to know. If you're going to take this exam, you have to know the concepts. Otherwise, you would be shooting in the dark. So we've categorized the concepts for you in order of appearance and level of difficulty. So for instance, if you wanted to review function notation, just expand this one and you can click on function notation. If you wanted to review factoring, we could click on, let's say you want to review quadratic equations or sum and difference of cubes. We can click on that one, sum and difference of cubes. And of course, to the right of this, you will see the player, the video player, and I want to show you some cool features with the video player as follows. Because you would hit play, and right to the right of this, you have a little chapter section that allows you to skip to a certain question. So you don't have to suffer through a video if you know how to watch a problem, how to solve a problem. So here we have 3 questions. Say for instance, you knew how to do number 1 and number 2, but you didn't know how to do 3. You can go directly to question 3 by clicking on the menu question 3, and it's going to start the 3rd question, as you can see right over here. Something else that you might want to know, it's going to save you time, is you can increase the speed by which we speak. So if you feel as though we are talking too slowly for your liking, you can click on speed to move at a much faster pace. Only that, make sure that you don't misuse it and just speed through the videos without really understanding what's being said. So these are all the math lessons that you're going to need to know before all of this culminates into a question bank. And we'll talk about the question bank momentarily. For now, let's have a look at the writing section. So you can see Margaret Ann and the work she's done putting together the writing section, the SAT grammar section. So clicking on this, the layout is exactly the same for all the lessons. So it starts with requirements, the same test that you saw in the previous one. And in here, you can click on the videos once again, and you would be able to watch the videos, the lessons, one by one. And here is Margaret Ann. So she will walk you through this English grammar prerequisite section, and the same rules apply. If you want to skip ahead slightly, you can move on to run-ons, fragments, and example. The one thing that I forgot to mention is that every lesson will end with an actual SAT example, as you can see. And of course, once you go through all of this, it's also going to culminate into going to the question bank. So notice here that you can actually expand. You can hide that menu to the left by clicking on these double arrows here. These pointy arrows show or hide it. And once you complete a lesson, simply click on complete. It's going to ask you, are you sure you've completed this? And you just say yes if you have, then no if you haven't. Just be honest with yourself, because you really want to make sure you improve your grade, your score, and you only improve your score through practice. And as you hit complete, it's going to keep track of how far you've gone. And once you hit complete, it takes you to the next section immediately. So if you want to get out of this, just click on the little X at the top right here. And it brings you back to the home of this SAT grammar course. And you can see we've completed one of those items, so we are now at 5.88%. So same setup again. The overview just tells you real briefly about this course, and then the curriculum. Announcements will be here. The instructor this time is Margaret Ann. And last but not least, the reviews will be here. If you have reviews, a review that you'd like to leave, you would leave it right here and rate it. And we encourage you that you do that. And of course, there's the reading section. So let's go and look at the reading section. The reading, SAT reading right here. And SAT reading is pretty cool because it has the interactivity that you might not have seen anywhere else. So, and here's what I mean by that. For the reading, again, same structure, same setup, all the lessons, you go through each. But then here in this section, we have guided practice. And just to give you an example, let's click on the 5th passage of test number 1, just to see the interactivity that I wanted to show you. So you might notice here that this video player looks slightly different from the one that you've seen, but that's okay. The functions are exactly the same. So the chapters for this player are on the left side. And here you can change the speed. And if you want to see what I was telling you about being interactive, I'm going to fast forward to a section like this one over here. And you'll notice there's little pop-ups that's going to show up on your screen. These are clickable. When you click on this, it's going to have you answer a question. And if you answer correctly, it is going to tell you, nope, that's not it. Maybe try again or give the correct answer. So you can see the solution in that way, or you can choose to continue, or you should retry because you now know the right answer. We just select the right answer and we move on from that. So a pretty nifty feature to have. So you want to hit complete. You want to complete this? Yes, we want. Remember, we only had 4 completed lessons. So when you look back, when you get out of this and go back to the home, you will see that we have 5 now completed. 5 items completed. And last but not least, let's have a look at the question bank. Here's what the question bank looks like. You will need to log into the question bank just like you did on the actual lessons. And inside of here, you will see all the tests that we have already prepared for you. Now, one really cool thing about the question bank that no one else has is that these questions are categorized. You are aware that the SAT categorizes questions. For math, there's 3 categories: HOA, PSD, PAM, and ATM. And so we've categorized these questions by topic and level of difficulty. So say for instance, we found out that we are a little bit weak on the heart of algebra type of question, and this is the no calc section. We can actually click on reattempt, and it's going to open up this screen. You always have to read the directions and agree to the terms for taking that exam, and then you would click next. And now you would be in the question bank. So a couple of features to highlight. The question's always going to be somewhere over here to the side. You can click on it and the question becomes bigger if you're having a hard time reading it. Then you can of course close this. To make the choices bigger, you just click on the A+ right here and you can see the choices get bigger. And if you are on question 1 and say you didn't know how to do it but you'd like to come back to it, you click on review and it's going to bookmark that question some kind of way. So, but to answer this question, in the xy plane, the graph of which of the following equations is aligned with a slope of 3, we can see that the answer to this is C, because y equals mx plus b, and m is 3, slope is 3. So we click Save Next. Now notice the question that we highlighted as a reviewable question, we want to review it, it's going to be purple. The questions that we do not want to review are going to be a different color. And so for this one, let's just say the correct answer is D. We would just select D, 105. And then we can move on to the next question. Notice we did not click on review for this one, so it's just going to be blue. Sometimes you can skip questions. If you skip a question, it's going to be gray. So completed questions, blue. Questions you want to review by clicking on review will be purple. And questions that you have skipped would be gray. In case you forget that, there's a little key on the bottom right here that's going to help you remember those things. So you will often run into questions like these. These are free response questions. There are no multiple choices. So when you're writing out your answer, you just click in the little space provided and you would type in the correct answer. So let's pretend that the answer to this is 3. You would just type in 3, save next, and you can work through this test like that until you get to the end of it. Once you get to the end, you hit submit the test. It's going to ask you, do you really want to submit? Of course, you would say yes after completing the exam. And you would have your test submitted successfully. Here it tells you how many points you have, 2 out of 24. It says marks. Marks and points are synonymous, same word. So we only got 2 out of 24 because we only did a few problems. We only tried 3 questions. We got 2 of those right, actually. And then how much time did it take us? 2.18 minutes out of possible 30 minutes. And then it just gives you a quick overview of what really happened. But if you want to really delve into the scores, we certainly can. And I'm going to show you that next. So just the question analysis. There were 24 questions. We tried 3 of them. We got 2 of those right. We left 21 unanswered, and we got 1 incorrect. And points-wise, we got, there were 24 points for those 24 questions. We only got 2 points. We didn't miss any. We didn't get any points deducted, so we only got 2 points. And of course, there's going to be a little message here encouraging you to keep practicing. So if you want to find more details on this score, we just click on View Detailed, and that brings us back here. And that's where you have this really, really awesome feature called Reports. When you click on Reports, the most recent test you've taken is over here. And you see today's date is February the 3rd, 2021, this was on a different date. So the newest one's always going to be top left. You can click on view report, and it shows you how many times you've taken this. So each time you take it, it brings on another test. So the one that we just finished a minute ago is this one. And notice the date format here is the international date format, not the US date format. So we have the date, the month, and the year, date, month, year. And to see the actual scores, we can click on view. So this is the fifth one, is the fifth attempt for that test. So we can click on view the report. And we have a little bit more insight. So we already knew this. It says 2 people have tried this. There are 24 questions. There are a total of 24 marks on the table, and it's a 30-minute practice. So if you want to, this is the quick overview, just an overview of what it is that you just completed. Now, since all of these questions are in the medium category, this will not be of use now, but later on you will see this become more useful. So to get a subject report, you can click on this to see which topics specifically are you struggling in the algebra section. And to find that, it says that you can click on view the details. The heart of algebra is the SAT classification, and you go to here, view detail. It tells you the types of questions that are there in this section. We have linear equations and inequalities. There are 4 questions of that type. We got 1 right. We didn't miss any. It tells you how much time you're spending on these types of questions. It's really in-depth and really helpful to show you where you need more practice. So another topic is systems of linear equations. There are 6 questions on this test. We didn't try any because we skipped a whole bunch of them, but you get the point. So that's what's under the subject report. Under the solution report is the really, really cool feature that you're gonna love, because you get to see the actual questions and the answers. So for this first one, we have y equals 3x plus 2. That was the correct answer. Very good. And then here you see that if you didn't know how to do this, you click on this video to see how to solve the problem. And the one that you missed over here especially is useful, because let's say you didn't know how to do this one, click on this video and it shows you how to do the problem. So that's what the question bank is going to help you accomplish. You have bookmarks. So as you were reviewing a minute ago, and you found out that yes, you've seen the problem, you've tried to rework it, you actually looked at this video and you understand it, but you feel like you might forget it, you want to come back later and make sure you really understand, you can bookmark this question. So make a note, you've bookmarked this question, just simply click on bookmark and it turns blue. And then we're gonna go find it, so you under bookmarks on the other side. So it's under heart of algebra, no calculator, right? So we're gonna close this out. We're gonna go here to bookmarks, and we need to change the topic here because it's heart of algebra, no calculator, or like that. And here's a question that we just bookmarked. Heart of algebra, no calculator, medium. Actually, this was the question. So yes, when you click on this, it takes you right back to it, and you can see the answer to it. 1.2 is the answer. All right, if there are any documents associated with any tests, they will be in here. Right now, there aren't any. If there are any videos associated with the exam, the videos will be here as well. If there are any notifications on the question bank, they will be in here. This is pretty self-explanatory. But yes, that concludes this section. So as you can see, there are a ton of various exercises for you to use on this. There's reading and writing and math categorized in various ways. So yes, thank you very much for choosing Edify, and we are looking forward to hearing those testimonies and of how well you have learned and how amazing your scores have become after using this amazing tool. So Margaret and I thank you once again, and we look forward to hearing those amazing stories that you have. Let's talk soon.